Alrighty then, that's a little sample of what's out there in experimental Musicville. What's up, rockers? Great to be here, thanks to Ginger and the San Diego Art Institute. Greetings to my colleagues on the panel. We've got a fascinating topic here tonight, trends in electronic experimental music, and it's my metaphoric pleasure to be here equally electronically. I'd like to make a few background comments and then turn the discussion over to the panel. A little about myself. I put together a couple of industrial noise music ensembles in San Francisco back in the 1980s and wrote a number of articles for underground music zines. The cool thing about the 1980s was that a lot of electronic music gear was becoming second generation and cheap for starving underground artists. There were no rules to what we did with the garage sale pedal effects and thrift store kids keyboards. It was sonic bedlam. We never played the same thing twice, and between all the manic equipment destroying gigs, some ideas about the potential of synthetic audio sources and their orchestration got projected inside the cinemaplex in my head. It appeared to me that there were predictive principles wiggling within the genre, and I'd like to amplify the topic for you now with a couple of dubious insights. At the time, there was a controversy over copyright issues when audio tape cassettes made LP records obsolete. Magnetic tape was a clone medium that put the laws of replication into the hands of Trailer Park America and garage bands across the landscape. 4-track cassette recorders democratized multi-track recording and mixing. Tracks could be bounced down and orchestral textures explored by independent musicians and single artists. Anyone could be a one-man band. Today, the evolution of this concept can be seen in the phenomena of rave DJs, who are now basically real-time, improvisational, digital composers. The salient points inherent within this new access to the means of production revolve around the notion of technology providing surplus. Or as 1950s media guru Marshall McLuhan noted, the ability of technology to provide access to what were heretofore the material and aesthetic luxuries of the ruling class. He further noted that technology is inherently democratizing. The independent cassette culture distribution networks working with the explosion of underground music scenes meant that every human was potentially a record company executive. And the listeners got to decide for the first time what artists and cuts they had access to. The evolution of this democratization via surplus technology played out in spades a generation later with the internet, where distribution to the entire world became possible via the pioneering website mp3.com. Virtually all choke points and bottlenecks to any musician getting their stuff out there before a global audience has been functionally eliminated. This includes the studio production end as well, with digital audio workstations turning any computer into an endlessly tweakable recording studio, orchestra, and mixing board. You could call it maximum karaoke. What this means is, number one, the music industry and its star system is obviously now a rear-view mirror institution. production and sales-based models require music that panders to the common market denominator. On the other hand, distribution-based models create a kaleidoscope of genres, and with a compressed format such as MP3, an infinity of product in a very portable package, as the miniaturization corollary to Moore's law begins to approach the scale of neurons. 2. Boardrooms and salaried reviewers and critics will no longer dictate taste. Rather, aesthetic judgment will happily be in the hands of a nation of Beavis and Buttheads who, in spite of their social pathologies, have an uncompromising aesthetic expertise and an ability to uproot posers. 3. Music will evolve away from performance. Spectatoring will be obsolete. Spectator will become creator. Imagine a rave club with no DJ, but with kiosk nodes featuring audio input, letting the participants change the groove every couple of minutes. 4. The rarity of expertise and erudition that has defined elitist top-down hierarchies through all of history will, as Marx liked to say, wither away, not due to ideology, but due to peer-to-peer global crosstalk. There will simply be too much exceedingly fresh and excellent music and art produced by everyone and their collections of algorithms. The music market will evolve to a shareware basis. Pay what you can in Bitcoin for what you like. 5. Eventually, artificial intelligence will know your tastes and moods so well that it will provide self-generated, customizable music, modifiable via voice commands at your whim, such as, "Oh, I feel like a Bayou violin ballad with lilting pedal steel, a dusky female vocal with a little yodeling." Basically, we're about to enter a period of social transformation similar to the Florentine Renaissance, which was a continuum of direct observational cognition through to the Industrial Revolution. That roughly 300-year period of upheaval and overthrow of feudal social forms will be emulated within a period of the next 25 years, maybe sooner. Humanity has been in an era of incorporation and assimilation of electricity from the Industrial Revolution to now, and the growth curve in innovation and art from this point will trend towards the vertical. We're looking at the beginnings of a global culture. I want to say a few words about immersive technology and its possible effects on mass entertainment venues. One day we'll be able to jack in, a la William Gibson, and hallucinate music and art. But right now what we got at the Vanguard Edge is affordable virtual reality goggles using any iPhone with a head mount, which can put us in the middle of any event on the planet as a participating avatar-based entity. But beyond virtual reality, a technology that should get more attention from audio freaks is the rarely discussed 3D audio. Yeah, 3D audio. Sound source is located in a spherical 360 degrees. Back in the early 90s, I was fortunate to demo this technology at NASA Ames in Sunnyvale. This sort of headphone plus algorithm was being developed so that pilots could be aware of the relative positions of other aircraft in their vicinity via audio cues. Never mind right and left stereo channels, this was right, left, up, down, back, front, and all the in-betweens. It was particularly compelling because of the absence of influence of room acoustics, so that the spatial separation and positioning was particularly intense due to the isolation and immersive qualities of the headphone source. It is difficult to create this 3D intensity via external speakers in a large venue. But privately, with custom headphones, it's a real eye-opener. A couple of companies are working to adapt Sonic 3D with virtual reality to fully complement the potentials of VR to create spatial immersive aesthetic experience. With Wi-Fi, VR and Sonic 3D leave the spectator full freedom of motion and thus free to recreate, say, a live broadcast rave dance venue in the convenient efficiency of their home or neighborhood entertainment room. Eventually, miniaturization, sensor clothing, and infinite bandwidth will let the participants share real-time interactive events with others via photorealistic avatars. The overarching point that needs to be made is that technology is inherently democratizing and hierarchy destroying. The dictum, everyone is an artist, will become a reality. There will be large economic fallout from this rearrangement in the means of production. Technology equals surplus, equals rapid obsolescence, equals democratic distribution of the means of production, equals surprising transcultural innovation and evolution from all points on the signal map. With that technological background framing the desire to predict and project trends in experimental electronic music, let me enumerate a couple of ideas that could be topics of discussion today and on forward. 1. Music as listening vehicle versus music as dancing vehicle. Is experimental electronic music danceable without a kick drum beat? Does experimental music create collective corporeality or individuation? 2. Will remote peer-to-peer collaboration and real-time non-local performance become more than just an occasional gee-whiz curiosity? 3. Can homebrew garage band music put money in the pocket of the composer? Can music be economically viable as shareware? Will crowdfunding change the role of galleries and venues in electronic arts? 4. There are no formal schools for skateboarding, BMX riding, parkour running, or base jumping, but the level of skill attainment in modern times, as thousands of YouTube videos demonstrate, is astounding. Will music theory and music schools become obsolete as musicians teach themselves and evolve far beyond the meme constraints of formal music training? 5. What is the potential of artificial intelligence to compose music in all genres that cannot be distinguished from human-produced music? 6. Will flash mob performances be the new venue for improvised jam session music? Are geocaching, Pokemon-type situationist derive-oriented games applicable as an experimental music venue? Okay, time for you guys to let the ideas gyre and gimbal. Thanks again to Ginger and everyone involved for this opportunity to get some thoughts about the artistic potential of technology out there. If you want to go over the points I've made here at your leisure, this video is on my YouTube channel. Just search Walter Alter. I'd be happy to answer comments and questions and, needless to say, pontificate endlessly. Okay, that's it for me. The future's coming, like it or not. It's time to leap.